Hi,
Hi,
Emily.
Emily.
I'm Colin,
And I'm Taylor.
and we're of Adonai. And thank you for being the first question or questions to our new little thing we're going to do sometimes. And we weren't expecting them to be kind of serious, but they are, and we like it, so thank you. So the first question is, why are we Christian? And I guess what we want to do is first define what Christian is. And there's this awesome guy named Jesus, and he is the Son of God. And being Christian is the faith and belief that he died on a cross 2,000 years ago for your sins and my sins, which means anything we did to wrong God. And he is innocent, totally pure, did nothing wrong, yet died for us. And then 3 days later, he rose again off that cross, came back to life, physically came back to life, and now he's still alive today, helping our problems, talking with us whenever we need him, and all that. So now that we got that out of the way, I'm going to explain my side of why I'm Christian. We'll explain later why Adonai is what we are, and after I'm done, Taylor's going to explain. So bye-bye, Taylor, for now. Okay, so I grew up all my life being in a church, all my life. And I learned about Jesus constantly and God and all that, how you can pray to him and he'll hear you and he'll, answer your prayers and all that. But I never really knew him. And it came a point in my life when I was about 12 years old. My brother always was in different rehabs with all his drug abuse and everything like that. And it just came to a point where it's too much because my parents' divorce just finalized. My brother had another suicide attempt. I was doing terrible in school, and just everything seemed to go downhill. So God became my last resort. I had absolutely nothing left. So what I did was I just prayed and prayed and prayed, and I had an overwhelming sense of comfort, and I was able to get through it. And I wasn't full on for God right then, and I wouldn't say that I was really a full believer. I mean, I believe God because I always just learned it in church, and that's all I knew. But I wasn't really following him fully until about 14, and that was after I went on a mission trip with my church, where it's a local one, where we go around in Apopka and other things throughout Florida, which is about only 10 miles away from us. And we help rebuild people's houses and repaint houses that have been destroyed, basically, just because they weren't taken care of well. And through that, we had a lot of worship through music, just different songs that were praising God and things like that. And he just really spoke to me. It's hard to explain, but when you feel it, you can't mistake it. It's kind of like a tingly feeling that just kind of overwhelms your body, and something just has you raise your arms up and things like that. And it's just, something else is there. So after that experience with that mission trip, I decided to really just be full on for God, and that's when I was consistently praying every day and reading my Bible a lot. Of course, I fall and I still sin and screw up and things like that. And sometimes I don't read my Bible, or sometimes I go through dry spells where I don't really talk with him a lot. But I'm really at a point where I'm really following him as best as I can, and I try to keep up with that. So that's pretty much how it started. I wasn't, a drug user or anything like that, and then God came in a shining cloud, and then I became a Christian. But it's something like I really don't think you can really experience God unless you have pain, because when he becomes your last resort, it's when he's all you have, you realize that he's all you need. And now he's my first resort. I go to him first for everything. So I hope that answers your question, and I really like that you asked that. And here's Taylor, right?
I don't honestly know where to begin. I was born in Issaquah, Washington, and pretty much my whole life living with my dad and my mom and all the other crazy brothers and sisters that I had. We always went to church on Sunday, but I, never really knew that much about it because I was only about 4 or 5. I barely remember it to this day, but I had a lot of troubles with my dad drinking constantly, and actually drinking and driving me around. Um, that's actually why I moved down to Florida, because my mom wanted to get far away from him. Um, but I can't say that I really experienced God until I was about 12, when my dad moved down to Florida and was dating this woman for well over 5 years, and um, her daughter was actually diagnosed with cancer, and it was probably the hardest struggle we've ever had to deal with. She did end up passing away at the age of 16, and to see somebody as you would call your sister after those many years to just pass away was devastating, and I had nobody to go to. But it was kind of a question to see if I could believe in something else, and trust in something else. Because when you have nothing to resort to, there is still that one being that you can always pray to and believe in. And I always found myself asking, "Why, God, why?" Um, but I can't say that I really experienced God there with me until I actually started Adonai about 2.5 years ago with Tyler and Colin, because I never had a friendship and a love and a brotherhood as we did back then. I grew up in school being made fun of pretty much my whole life, and I never really had a good relationship with people, so I didn't know how to love. It was honestly one of the hardest things for me to do, and having them accountable for me and vice versa, I really got to go to church and understand more the meaning of why we are here and what we're out to do, and that we all have a meaning, that we all are really just here to love each other as well as spread the gospel of God to everybody. I truly believe that if there wasn't pain in the world and anguish and all the other nasty stuff that happens to us every day, that we wouldn't really have the faith that we do have. Because if we're not tested daily um, by all the stupid mistakes and all the things that we can regret, then what's our purpose for actually having that faith? And that's something that I've always deeply believed in. I make mistakes, but I never regret them, because I believe that it is a learning experience to build myself self up for something further, but it also does bring me closer to the higher being, God. And I've really believed in that, because resorting to him when my sister passed away, and even not even seeing my father for the past 3 years, has been one of the biggest things ever in my life, is just knowing him and having the brotherhood that I've had with the rest of these guys and sharing that with everybody.